Once upon a midnight jury,
As we ponder, weak and weary,
only one thought came to our minds.
we are continuing with Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Any of their features,
You're invited,
adventures of.
and their movies galore,
So sit back and enjoy the ride.
because if it's up to me,
Or me.
You'll RSVP.
And welcome back to 90s Noise. This is Ashley, born 1988.
I'm April, born 1991. All right, we are on chapter 2 of the rabbit hole that is Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Olsen twins.
Which one are we doing this one, Ashley?
Well, I mean, anyone can take a guess because it's Christmas, for one. So welcome. We're doing our special Christmas episode bonus. Woo!
Woo!
I'm pretty sure they only made one Christmas movie. Well,
Movie.
Feature movie, like
Yeah.
They did make like
Yeah.
Christmas, You're Invited, and Adventures.
Yes.
But
Yes, the Christmas Caper.
mm-hmm.
And then there's a couple of ones that they did.
There was like the You're Invited like Christmas party. I love that one.
There's a Christmas party. Didn't they do like a skiing thing or something? Because they went to Vail for for something. It was
movie.
No,
No?
that was a You're Invited. I remember that because I watched that. My dad was he was going on like a ski trip, and he wasn't going to Vail, but he was going out to Colorado, and we watched it together and everything and stuff so
I remember seeing, yeah. I just don't remember which one it was from. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But okay, so
I have to find that later.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that out. To grandmother's house we go, and this one actually came out in 92. So they were babies.
This was their first actual feature film that they had done. But this was
something I didn't realize or know from this movie is that Jeff Franklin was a part of this. So I wonder if he had some sort of pool, with them being on Full House. Because then he was.
Oh yeah.
Was he like the producer? Let me see. What was he? Yeah, he was an executive producer. And he directed it. And he wrote it.
Yeah. So that
heavy involvement.
So if I remember correctly from just interviews and everything, this was kind of supposed to be, in a sense, a little bit of a nod to Full House because it was during Full House time.
Well, I mean, the ending of the movie, I was like,
well,
okay,
of course,
this makes sense now. Like, I completely forgot that they were in this movie.
Oh yeah, no, I completely forgot that too. It'd been long enough since I truly watched, because I've watched most of it like recently, more recent.
Same.
But I hadn't gotten past the carnival.
Yeah,
like the end of the carnival either. For some reason.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what is this scene? What is this scene?
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of that scene, did you notice a certain big sister in the crowd?
Was DJ there?
Yeah.
I see. I should have rewound it, but I thought I had caught her, but then they like didn't show her again. So I was like, yeah, well, was that really her?
I think that was just a quick little nod.
Do you think that was really there?
I think so. Because I think they,
probably filmed it on the same lot.
Yeah, at least that scene. It was honestly, what wouldn't surprise me, and I'm just throwing this out there, I didn't do any of the research, you know me. But is that if they needed like a little bit more time for filling, if they part of adding that scene into it. And maybe that's why I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those like cut scenes, like when it played on TV and stuff, they didn't really play it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either, but
it was very new to me.
Yeah.
Like, I remember a lot of it, but there were some bits, especially that one, that I was just like, okay.
Oh yeah. Okay, thoughts on the movie
I thought for the most part it was pretty cute. Like I
Mhm.
liked how it started. Like I really liked that opening scene of like the twins getting ready with their mom and stuff. I thought that was super it was super captivating and like kind of drew you in. You're like, oh, okay, like who are these girls? What's gonna happen? You know, it just seemed really cool. But I feel like the thing that I didn't like the most from this movie that made it kind of hard to want to keep watching was I don't remember his name, the guy.
Eddie?
Eddie, yes. He just
Yeah.
kind of grated on my nerves. And I was just like, and then like in the end, they get together, and I'm like, this just
Yeah.
doesn't. Ugh.
So I didn't mind that as much, like, honestly, as I remember why I don't. This was my least watched
Oh, really?
Olsen movie, any of their work. Their characters just really drove me crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I couldn't even really focus on the adults in it because they were just, and I don't know if it was just that I dealt with a lot of the times I dealt with a lot of kids that were that way, like super bratty and just annoying and rude in that sense, to where it just reminded me too much of that.
Mm.
And it was actually kind of hard to this last time to get through the movie because of how much that grated on me.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from because I would say that they're probably the least likable of the characters that they've ever played.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and it was different than um, Double Double. Like, I felt like you got a little bit more roundness with like the adult characters. Like, they did a lot
Mhm.
of like adult scenes and stuff, and it wasn't just focused on the twins, which was a little
Yeah.
bit different than like their Halloween movie. So that was kind of, and I felt like they did a pretty good job, but it, a lot of the characters, they just were very, very frustrating to like be rooting for or
Yeah.
whatever.
I feel like there wasn't character development in this at all.
You know, I think the
The
only one that I would say had a little bit of development that I would probably be my favorite character is the grandpa, like the old guy that kidnapped him.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
Harvey.
always liked him for
Wait.
Harvey. Yeah, I always liked him. He's just so likable and lovable, and
He's a Van Dyke.
I know.
Of
Yeah,
course he's
yeah.
likable. He's a Van Dyke. Like that right there. You can't help but like him
hmm
because yeah, his character is really the only one that, like you said, I felt that there really was any character development.
hmm
Double Double had the girls started off kind of the same as how they were in this, but then they because they didn't really like being twins in that one, but then they
hmm
grew to appreciate it. This one was just too, and I mean, they were what? Oh, this was 92. They were 5, like
Yes.
4 or 5.
I think,
So
yeah, they were
I'm
young.
not trying to be like super hard on them or anything,
Of course.
but it was almost like they were the entire time like filming throwing a temper tantrums.
Yeah, there was the one scene in the beginning where the mom was reading them the story in bed, and did you see the look on Ashley's face? Like she was pouty the whole time. Mary Kate was like
Oh
into
yeah.
it, and then like all of a sudden it was a switch, and then all of a sudden Ashley was like, and I'm like, oh, she didn't look
Oh yeah.
happy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's one thing which they didn't do a lot of editing on things like that with this. It
Yeah.
was more in the moment, almost that live audience feel that
Mm-hmm.
Full House
Mm-hmm.
gave. There's so many times where you're just watching and you're like, wait a second. Yeah, they're done. Like this must be a day that they're just done with
I wonder,
everything.
was it like this point in Michelle on Full House, wasn't she like getting into that bratty stage? I wonder if they were carrying kind of that over into this movie a little bit because it probably would have been easier for the girls to like remember doing that type of emotions. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I felt like when she got into kindergarten, Michelle was starting to be kind of like
Yeah, so
bratty and stuff.
This probably would have been because that probably about that same time. It just was hard watching that.
They had good moments. I mean,
They did.
I liked the one scene. I forgot what she said. I didn't write down, but the where the girls are like making the snowman outside or trying to make
Mhm.
like Frosty. And like Ashley said this line and it was like savage. I was like, oh, are they gonna start doing kind of how she was in or how she like is in Double Double? But then that was kind of like her only savage moment. And then it just
Mhm.
kind of disappeared. I'm like, oh damn, I wanted that girl back.
Yeah. Well, that whole scene, they were both kind of
They were,
savage.
yeah.
And then like when they threw the snowballs at him and everything, that's for Frosty.
I was like, yeah.
It's like, damn girl. Like that is something you would totally see like a little kid doing though.
Oh yeah. I mean, they definitely didn't throw
Like,
those, but
oh yeah, no.
I don't know. It was kind of a different side, like, because I mean, honestly, I don't think any of their other movies ever played on this kind of brattiness at all. Like all of their other characters are very kind and goody goodies, or just kind of I don't know. They don't ever really get like this.
I think that that was partially because I don't think parents really like this side of it.
Oh, probably not.
And they probably,
I mean, God, girl,
however,
look at your picture. Like someone's
I
giving a
know,
mean
right?
mug.
I know the meme mugs. I feel like there might have been some backlash after this.
Yeah, I didn't
And
even look to see like how it how it did, but oh, it says that it was filmed in Canada, so maybe it wasn't Full Housewives.
well, that last scene might have been.
So yeah, they're right. The last scene may have been 'cause it would have
Yeah.
been weird to like lie. I mean, she's not. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. Oh, Andrea was there too. Did you see her?
I didn't catch Andrea,
No,
no.
I didn't either.
I
Yeah.
but I did catch but I did catch Candace.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. So it's kind of,
Yeah.
but it was like, did I though? Because I didn't go back. So okay, now
Oh,
I'm
I
glad I
didn't.
saw.
I didn't either, but like I think maybe because I was like, okay, so they've got these two. They've got Bob and Lori. Okay. Is any of the others? And so
Yeah,
when they did the crowd shots, I was like, I was kind of keeping an eye out for, and that's and I was expecting it to be probably one of the girls.
yeah. I'm kind of curious as to like what led them to do that, but I mean, it was cute. I like that they kind of included their
I think it was
family.
I think it was probably also because I mean, yeah, they were more their family than their true their like blood family was, and also to show support for the girls, I think was part
Mm.
of it too. I feel that that was a big part of it, like being there kind of in solidarity, showing their support and everything, but I did find it interesting that it was just that quick pan where you
Yeah,
saw.
exactly. They didn't focus on them for too
Yeah.
long. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's like this little trivia thing that I see. It said that shortly before filming began, Mary-Kate had a minor accident which resulted in a black eye. So they had to like film scenes to where you couldn't notice it.
See?
Oh.
Huh.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Did you catch the in the ice cream? Was it the ice cream shop or when he was asking what their birthday was or whatever, and they basically said their real birthday just a year off. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny inclusion. I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
second, that's their birthday.
Yeah. I have to admit, I probably won't rewatch this one for a good long while.
No, it's I couldn't even count the amount of times on my hand that I've ever seen this movie to begin with.
Hmm.
So it's not really
Yeah.
one on my list. It's cute, but it's not like that cute where you're like, oh, I need to watch this again. Because it's just like I said, Eddie was so annoying. The Roy Rogers scene irritated the
Okay.
out of me.
Yeah. So
That was
those
so
like,
weird.
okay. So I was the whole like scene splicing with clips drove me freaking crazy. Like, I'm like, okay, wait,
Yeah.
is he watching this? Like,
I-
why are they doing this?
And like for kids,
And
that makes no
it-
sense. You have no
yeah,
clue.
I was like, because I didn't remember that, and I'm watching it, I'm like, wait, did I miss like a TV, like them panning over to a TV in his truck or something? Because
Oh,
I was like, what the fuck? Although I always enjoyed their inclusion of horses, and you'll
oh
appreciate
yeah,
that,
yeah.
in their earlier films and their earlier works, because there's a lot, like this one had a lot with horses.
Yeah, I've always liked that part.
Obviously, How the West Was Fun also, and then a good handful of their adventures of, I believe, had more of the horses than Invited. I think there was like one Invited that included, but I did like that part. Like, of course, when you have horses, 99% of the time there's going to be some form of a horse chase.
Yeah, a little unrealistic, but
Okay,
but-
unrealistic. Yeah, this entire movie is unrealistic. Let's be real here.
yeah, that whole like needing like the I don't know, it's Eddie's whole inclusion of it's like why do they have to make him such a like unlikable character? Like the
Hmm.
mom just seems like someone who is hardworking and takes care of her kids and like needs them, just doesn't really necessarily need a man, but like she deserved better.
Hmm.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, and then it did frustrate me when in the scene at the neighbor's place, when she's getting ready to go work and everything, the insinuation that the dog ate a chocolate cake, and had a chocolate cake in its mouth. I was like, no.
I was like, no, he's not gonna pick that up, is he? No.
I was like, no. That was a little frustrating to me, just because of how, I wonder how many kids probably watched it and were like,
Oh, I'm gonna get
oh,
my yeah, exactly. I hate when they do stuff like that in movies. It's annoying. And then like that old lady on the bus, and
yeah,
I'm like, are you? She's just gonna be like, okay, cool, enjoy grandma. It's like,
these kids, okay, that right there, these kids are on a bus by themselves.
I mean, they
These
snuck
little
on. I
kids.
could see them having done that much, but
Yeah, no, them sneaking on, but an adult talking to them and seeing that they are obviously by themselves and not saying a damn
were the
thing.
90s that different where it was just kind of like, hey, you're on your own? Like,
I mean, actually, it really was.
it
To
probably
be
was.
completely
It's not like
honest,
there was a phone. She could have been like, hey, like, got these
well,
phantoms.
but no, when you say that, yeah, it really was. I mean, we were out playing until dark. Come home when the lights come home. Like, nobody knew where the fuck we were until like you tell your parents you're going over to Bobby Joe's house, and then once you get to Bobby Joe's house, everybody wants to go over to Sandy's house, so everybody goes over to Sandy's. Nobody freaking knows.
No, yeah, it
And
doesn't
it's
really
just
matter.
you be home by a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
But like, another unreal of the scene kind of creeped me out and very unrealistic, especially like now, the scene at the arcade with the kidnappers, the robbers, where, like we said already, Harvey's character was really the only one that had any character development, but him being in the ball pit like that,
I know. I'm like, but
I was like,
I feel like
stranger
again, it was the
danger.
90s, and it was just kind of more like cool. I mean, because we're talking early 90s, so it just
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed like that was the vibe. But yeah, nowadays you'd be like, unless you like
Even
have a particular reason to be down in there, you shouldn't be there.
even in the 90s, that one's a little bit too like, even for the 90s, I feel was pushing the boundaries for it, because even in the 90s, we still had like the freaking pedophilers and
Oh, of
serial
course,
killers
yeah.
and shit like that. So, yeah. On that
So
note,
yeah, that reminds me, like, another thing that irritated me with this movie is the kidnapping scene, like how like, the girls are by the truck and Eddie stumbles upon the old couple, and then they like do like a little, like, I mean, like, this doesn't seem like a very crazy hit to them to knock him out to where they're then able to get in the truck and like take off. I'm like, you're like, I don't know, that one, and he just lays there, and I'm like, you're not unconscious. Get up. Like, there's no way.
I mean, it wasn't that he just happened upon them. They were staking him
Well,
out
yeah,
and everything. So, I mean, I understood that. Like, yes, the little her little
that's
like
what I mean. Like, just
would
the
not.
easy
I mean,
ability
well,
for her to.
actually, like if you hit the right spot,
You think it would hurt
it
enough?
it only takes a certain amount of force, and even with like if like I mean there are people her size who do like freaking insane massage therapy and chiropractic work and stuff like that. So honestly, it's not necessarily as unrealistic as as they made it seem
Mm-hmm.
in that sense, because yeah, like if you hit at the right spot and
It could, yeah,
in the back, you could
yeah,
it would probably knock you cold for at least probably a good
a couple
5-10
minutes or so,
minutes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I
To
think
where,
maybe it's just more so the way it was shot that I felt
yeah,
didn't really work for how they set up that scene. Like, maybe that's what it is. Because yeah, you're right.
yeah.
It could in the right way and
Hmm.
all that, but I'm just kind of like that. But I feel like it was more so that was how they made the setup to how
Hmm.
they get a hold of the truck and the girls get on, like, you know what I mean? I felt you almost felt like they
Yeah.
could have done a little bit more. Like, it could have been
Hmm.
something a little more interesting than just okay.
Hmm.
So
But like my thing too is like you really don't see them taking anything from the truck except the girls. Like
well, yeah, because
their
they decided that the
motorhome,
girls were worth more than
yeah,
the items.
their motorhome was full of other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't
Yeah, they were.
take anything. And so it's kind of like you went through all that
Well, I
work.
think they would have taken the stuff from the truck if the girls hadn't been in there, but then they were like,
Yeah.
oh, jackpot, we don't need all these shit. We can just ransom these girls for
Yeah, that. And then their whole, well, at the end when they got caught and when they turned themselves in, oh, I'll have 3 to 5 years to think about it or something. I'm thinking to myself, 3 to 5 years is just for pure robbery. You're forgetting to tack on kidnapping
Mm-hmm.
onto that
I was thinking about that too. I'm like, that seems like a really short stint.
and reckless endangerment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the list, like assault, reckless endangerment, kidnapping, theft of their vehicle. All, I
Also, all the
mean,
other goods they stole,
like then also extortion.
oh yeah,
Like, I mean, the list is added up, and you're looking at a little bit more than 3 to 5 years,
yeah,
lady.
at least 5.
Uh, I would hope at least 5. I don't know, with the justice system, we never know. And is it just me, or and maybe it's just because I'm so used to their older stuff, but with the exception really of like Eddie singing songs and then the girls and Harvey singing in the motorhome, I don't really recall much music. Like all of their like most of their older stuff is all like full of like tons of music and everything. And
You mean like them singing?
no, like just music in general, background music. And like
Oh, the background.
I don't even feel like this one had a lot of even just instrumental, like to
Mm.
keep the quiet down. But
Yeah, I never thought about it. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just like I said, it's weird to me because I'm so used to their later ones, like Passport to Paris, Our Lips Are Sealed, Holiday in the Sun. All of those are just,
I mean, that's a whole different team, though. I mean, you're talking one dual star.
Yeah.
Jeffrey
So
Franklin, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the whole production of this movie was just quickly done.
very TV.
Very TV, but like cheap. I don't know. It just didn't seem like they put too much effort into it. It was like, oh, how can we like play off of these twins more? How can we make more money? How can we like exploit them? Like,
yeah, that's pretty much what it was. While I absolutely adore and love Mary-Kate and Ashley as a whole, and I've loved all of their stuff, looking at it now as an adult, and they really were pretty much their entire lives. And so I 100% am not surprised at them removing themselves from Hollywood at their earliest chance.
I mean, it was like refreshing. Like, you read the article that they put out recently where they interviewed them, like, and they, or at least made some comments and I don't know if it was an interview or how it was, but you read that. It was like, it was super refreshing to like kind of hear their viewpoint on just life right now for them and how they live their life.
No, but I know that I've seen a lot of stuff with them, and they just really prefer the privacy, like being as normal as they can but they're one of the few that are still making a name for themselves. They're still working. Most of these child actors
They would have made amount of money and stopped working, and then
and then just come back for like reunions and stuff to get checks, or but the fact that they're still in a sense, not necessarily in the entertainment industry, but still in the entertainment world, because I consider fashion still a part of the entertainment world.
Yeah.
It's not like they went and are working at a law firm or something like that, but they pretty much said fuck it to the entire world. We're doing us. Like, you guys got 18 years and we're living our lives now, because they really,
I mean, they're doing amazing things, and it's crazy how that all worked out for them, but it does seem like they're happy, you know what I mean? And I think that's what's most important, is that they're content with how they live their life, and they don't need that media attention on them. And that's kind of what the article was talking about, is that they put their heart and soul in their fashion line, and they do it in a way that it's not their name. Like, yes, they're a part of it, but it's not like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen line or anything. It's like they're not slapping their name on stuff, and they're like super successful without the inclusion of them being out there all the time promoting it and stuff like that. It just is good.
Yeah. And there was a while back that there were videos from one of their shows. And it was just people that had been invited to it. So it wasn't like it was like fans sneaking in or anything like that. It was like people who were legitimately invited, and there were some videos from it, and just the pure joy on their faces was heartwarming to see.
Oh yeah.
And while yes, we've talked about it, it would be an absolute dream, and we would sell our souls for it if they ever did any type of public appearance that we could get to.
But I feel like almost with them, meeting them would be more honest and special if you just happened upon them on the streets of New York or something, because that's them. You know what I mean? I think that would be like so freaking cool. I think
it would be cool, but I think it would be a little more, I don't know, maybe more intimidating.
Oh fuck yeah.
Just like seeing somebody, like,
even if I could just see them from afar, I don't have to necessarily meet them. Even if I could just like be in their same,
like, be in the same
vicinity.
like, that would be something. But like, I mean, I think, and it's one of those, it may be one of those never meet your idols type of thing. Cause I would probably at least want to just say how great it was to have them as role models growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because I
that,
feel like they still are role models.
and,
You know what I
and
mean? Like
that's
they
the
didn't
thing.
turn into something else. Like they're still
Yeah.
consistently good people.
Yeah. And that's what it'd be. The fact that they were incredible role models for myself as growing up as a young female, and even as into adulthood, because of
Mm-hmm.
that they've not allowed being women to hold them back. They've never really done the whole sex sells type of deal.
Oh, yeah.
They've
Mm-hmm.
proved that you can be whoever the fuck you want to be and be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
you're right. I love that about them.
yeah. Like, and they never really did. Everybody parties at some point in their lives.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they had eyes and ears everywhere. So of course they had people that showed that where it wasn't, they weren't in their best light. But everybody
That's like,
goes
again,
through
they're
that
being
shit.
normal
Yeah.
teenagers, normal 20-year-olds. So like that was real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You didn't feel like, oh, this is just some fakeness. Like that
Yeah.
was real. Like, hey,
And
it's okay.
and so while grandmother's house is not necessarily my favorite of theirs, I still appreciate them as a whole, and will continue to. And
Yeah, till the day I die.
yeah,
They'll be my favorites.
I mean, dang
But
glad
yeah, I definitely rank this one after Double Double.
Oh yeah. Now, what was your take, real quick, before we wrap this one up? What was your take on the color scheme that they used for each girl?
So the blue and the pink and
Yeah, and it was
the
just different, because usually what we're very much used to was Mary-Kate was more the blue and Ashley was more the pink. But this one,
the swap.
yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I feel like it's very common in their movies that you're gonna have one of them being in one color palette and the other in the
Mhm.
other. It was, and I don't know if I would really say that it was swapped, because this is technically like their first movie ish. So
Yes, but like what I'm
like
saying, like
touring
from
movie.
what we're used to, because like we're still not
Right.
like they,
Which is why it took me like a hot second to verify like that's Ashley, because they were mixing up the colors and I'm like that is Ashley. And so then finally once I locked onto the right jacket, I'm like, okay, let's watch the jacket. That's
I when they were doing towards the beginning, when they were brushing their teeth and everything, I watched the arms. Who's brushing with
Yeah, I
their
was
right?
watching that
Who's
too.
brushing with their left?
Yeah,
And then
like the oatmeal scene and like,
yeah,
I was watching that too.
that's always been my, especially when they were younger like this, where it wasn't quite as easy to tell them apart.
Plus, a lot of times they wore matching stuff, so you
Yeah.
couldn't pick clothing to.
And it's like, that's even when even in Full House, you can always, like, if there's a drawing scene or a school scene or something like that, you can always tell which one if you just watch their hands and see who's writing.
Yeah, because that's not something you can fake. Like you're natural with this. You're gonna.
Yeah. So,
but I liked its overall like Christmas theme. Like it wasn't too like heavy on the Christmas where you're like, like it was almost, you could almost watch it when it wasn't Christmas time. Like it didn't, but yeah, overall I just feel like it was a bit of a dud, I guess, in their collection of movies. If we're gonna say that.
Yeah, this one's definitely gonna probably be like the bottom of the barrel for me with their stuff.
And we didn't really even get to see Grandma much.
No, and that's the thing too. It's like, okay, and so explain to me how those horses, like, they had stopped and then they just went to Grandma's. Were those her horses? Maybe were they returning home? Like,
Ooh, like maybe they
I mean,
were
because she had
donating them for the carnival.
a decent sized property.
Yeah, it was cute. Mm-hmm.
So is that why they were going back to grandma's? I
They
mean,
just knew the girls were going to grandma's house.
and then how did the mom know? Like that's where they actually went?
Right. That's what I was wondering that too. Everyone just like showed up in the right spot at the right time. And I'm like,
Because there was no cell phones. No cell
and
phones.
they were too far ahead to
Yeah.
like have caught where they were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But I did think that grandma looked a little bit like Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm like, wait a second. Who stole from
you're
who?
like, wait, you're like, okay, put the wine glass down. How many of these have I had? Am I switching movies already? Yeah, no, I can, that was my first thought. Like, wait a second.
I've seen this before.
I've seen this. Hold up.
And then like the end where they're on the lottery show,
Mhm.
maybe it was just I didn't catch it right, but or the way it was filmed, but the girls are on each side, like and one on each side, and the guy's like, spin that wheel. They both how are they
Mary-Kate is holding it under like this, where Ashley
did
is
she
like
push it
this.
up?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was
wondering about that.
I was wondering the same
Okay.
thing. I'm like, okay, so how are they gonna do this right? And they did. They had her
Okay.
underneath and Ashley pulling down. So
Okay. They
yeah.
did it quick. Like so I think I missed it, but I was trying to focus in on that, like, but did she?
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, exactly. Because I was thinking the same thing. Because I'm like, when he was like, "Oh, I want my 2 Lucky Charms and everything," I'm like, "Okay, so are they gonna both be on one side or what?"
Mhm.
And then when they kept them on the separate sides, I'm like, "Okay, all right, she's got her hand ready to pull. Is she okay? She's pushing up." I was like, "This just doesn't make sense. Let's make sure that
Like, oh
their
boy.
continuity was okay." So yeah.
Checked out.
Yeah. I also felt very very America's Funniest Home Videos almost with Bob.
I did too. I was like, wait, what is this for?
Yeah. I felt very much that vibe from his little cameo on that.
What year did he do the wheel?
Oh gosh, he
the
was
home video?
like it was, I think it was like late 80s into mid 90s. I think it was hold on.
I was wondering if it
America's
was like, I mean, I don't know if it was shot on the same studio. I'm like wondering if it was maybe after like a taping, because I remember there was one episode where weren't like all like most of the cast there for one of the episodes.
Yeah, they were all there, and then there was
Just
an
wondering if it was maybe shot around the same time.
yeah, so 80 he started in 89 and he went through 96 and then came back for like episodes here and there.
Oh.
But yeah, because I remember there was a episode where Mary-Kate and Ashley were on as their detectives. They were the detective. They were
Yeah.
their detective characters.
It was
And
weird. Like
so
universes are coming together. It was
oh
weird.
yes,
I'm
yes.
like, what's happening?
Well, there's like the whole whole which did they didn't do their normal like bloopers or anything after this one, right?
No, I
That's
don't
more
think
of a
they really
dual star one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would be really cute to like see some of these behind the scenes. I don't even look. I don't even know if there are like behind the scenes of this movie.
Yeah. Well, there's a
But
lot
that'd
of
be so cute.
there's a lot of talk that and I think they talked about this on the They Thought I Was You, but it actually makes sense like that we're see Mary-Kate and Ashley, like all of these are like I don't know, like their characters on almost.
Yeah, like a multi-universe type. Like
Yeah, like
and yeah,
and so which
it's
is
hard to follow, but yeah.
which is why in what was it, the challenge I think it was at the end of the challenge, like a lot of the boys come back and are like,
I haven't watched that movie yet.
"You've not seen that one?"
I don't think I need to watch it again, but I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't know. I know I had the VHS, so I must have watched it, but I don't
So it's funny
remember
that
it at
that was
all.
actually the only one I had on DVD. All the others I had on VHSs.
Really.
Yeah, that was the only one I actually had on DVD.
You must not have had a DVD player when it came out because I had
Yeah.
all the VHSs.
Yeah, so it would have just been interesting to see like the little blooper reel or how they ended most of their 2000 movies and everything.
Mhm.
So, tis what it is. This was 1992, so we got what we got.
Oh, so long ago. Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
No, I don't have anything else to say. I'm ready to be done with this grandmother's house.
We
and
ain't
move
going to
on.
grandmother's house.
Yeah, no, definitely not taking that journey.
Yep. Well, thanks all for joining us as we conclude chapter 2.